Your presence has been detected and recorded. Thank you.
I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you guys, it's Sunday, probably want to spend some time with the family or go watch some football. Is there a game on right now?
There is. 1 o'clock.
My bad. Let's get through this real quick. Just hit the record. Okay. All right. Okay. So that means a lot that you guys are still out here, even though you got the conference games this weekend. I'll get straight to the point. Basically, here's the philosophy. Here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to encourage. And the message, though, at the end of the day, it's up to you guys. This is your county, okay? So you guys are the ones that are going to have to really push for this if it's something you want to do. And the reason why I'm doing it is because I want multiple counties to work together to support one another. The sheriffs need support. The board members need support. And they feel a lot more comfortable if we do this together. Basically what happened, our forefathers, they came up with a new philosophy which was revolutionary at the time. They could not believe, what it would be like to run a country without some sort of king at the top. And what they did is they believed that they can bring power at a local level, right? The states' rights at the time, they brought it to a local level, but the states still worked with one another to build the federal government. The federal government was there simply to protect the Constitution. That's what it was at the beginning. Okay, that's why they had it. That's why they had the military, to protect their country from foreign invasion or even from within. Okay, but basically what they started to realize, though, is that people in, say, New Hampshire know what's best for their state than any other state, right? So right now the problem that we have is we have a federal government in D.C., okay? They don't care about you guys, that's fair to say, right? They don't represent you guys. None of the politicians do, okay? You have people in politicians in Olympia, same thing, they don't represent you guys. And then when it comes to the initiative process, which is not a republic, that's a democracy, where basically the people can just vote for whatever they want, okay, that goes to Seattle. So whatever Seattle votes for, you guys have to bow down to, right? And my question is, the thing that I'm trying to go around to tell everybody is that Seattle doesn't represent you guys. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay? You can imagine what people respond when I ask that question out in Clickitat County, right? When it takes 2 hours for a police officer to get to your house, and in Seattle it takes 2 minutes. But when they read this bill, which most of them didn't read, okay, 30 pages long, they don't think about you guys. They don't sit there and think about what's good for you guys, what's best for you guys. They only think about themselves. It's a completely different culture. Even if they did think about you guys, they don't care. They're going to get whatever they want, okay? So what I'm saying is, why is it that we cannot start to promote and start to pass ordinances where we say, well, we're gonna bring independence to these counties. These counties are going to be independent from any sort of unconstitutional law, whether it be from Olympia, whether it be initiative from Seattle, or whether it be from Washington, D.C. And there's a lot of people who have a concern about it because it's something new, even though the left has been doing it for a while with sanctuary cities, okay? And they've been able to survive the entire process, but it's something new. But here's the thing, and it scares people. Doing new things scares people. But everything that we've been doing, everything, it's not working, okay? It doesn't matter how much 1639 is in the courts. It doesn't matter. They're going to keep pushing, and they're going to keep pushing, and we're going to continue to lose our gun rights, ladies and gentlemen. I don't see any other way to move forward other than to protect the Second Amendment and to protect the Constitution at a local level in the counties where the population actually believes in freedom, where the population actually believes in the Constitution. Because Seattle doesn't care about the Constitution. They care about identity politics, social justice. They care about health care for everybody. They don't care about freedom. They care about feelings. Counties like Cowlitz County, Skamania County, Clickitat County, go up to the Tri-Cities, Yakima County. These counties are about results. That's all it is. That's the way real life is. That's the way sports is, right? That's why sports is all about results. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much you talk about how good of a game you are or whatever. At the end of the day, if you're either winner or loser, okay? So we need results in these counties. The thing is what I see moving forward is I want to give power to the small counties, and here's how I want to do it, okay? If you begin to pass some sort of ordinance, and you guys, we have a suggestion on what it should be from Rob Taylor. He's done it in 8 counties. He's got it passed in Oregon. He's working his butt off down there, okay? We have a suggestion, same thing, but you guys got to work with your board members, and you can adjust it to however you want, however fits your county, because every county is different, okay? You get that passed. Now, you get it passed with, say, 8, 10, 11 other counties around the state of Washington. Now imagine that says no official, whether it be a sheriff, whether it be any official, no money from the county will ever participate in an unconstitutional law. Okay, that's it. You're not saying I want to break the law. You're saying we want to honor the law, which is the Constitution. That's what I'm saying. And imagine multiple counties coming together, having similar ordinances, and you build an alliance, you build a coalition. So this isn't just about 1639. I don't care if it gets shot down in the courts or not. It's about the future, okay? So if you have all these counties coming together, which usually those counties have no power because your votes are like this compared to Seattle, 1 million, right? But if you come together and you see Olympia trying to pass something, okay? You guys can come together as counties and say, nope, I don't care if you pass this or not, we will not comply to this because it is illegal. It is against the Constitution. Because we can no longer rely on politicians, we can no longer rely on judges, we cannot rely on the state Supreme Court, we cannot rely on any of that, and let me explain to you why. Because the Second Amendment has already been destroyed legally in the courts. Already. They already have unconstitutional laws. There's no way, okay, there's no way that you should be required to get a permit to carry a gun, right? But it's been held up in the courts. So what I'm saying is we can't rely on anybody else except for within your own county. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
So what I'm asking, and this is bringing hope back to the counties where I feel like a lot of you guys in these small counties, a lot of patriots around Washington State, a lot of people are losing faith and losing hope. You guys understand that feeling? Is that kind of fair to say? And I know that feeling. I understand that. The things that I've run into in the last 2 years, it's been hard for me to keep the faith. It's been hard for me to have hope that we can actually win this, okay? Because this is a real cultural war that we're losing. But when you think about at a local level, the power you have at a local level, you as an individual have a lot more influence, right? Board members are neighbors. Your sheriff, you know more, you're more personal with them. You can put more pressure on them, okay? And if you guys begin to pass, let's say you pass this Second Amendment ordinance, you have to understand the precedents that you're setting for the future. It's not just about guns. It's not just about guns. It's about freedom. It's about any other law in the future that these politicians are trying to bring into your county that's going to screw over your county. Skamania County is a great example. They're kind of afraid right now, but we'll keep pushing. But Skamania County has been absolutely devastated by the federal government. Federal government comes in there and takes 85% of their land, all their timber, illegally, against the Constitution. They had nothing to do to push back. They just had to participate. They just had to go with it, and their entire economy was destroyed. Now they're a county that relies on just grants from the federal government, so the federal government pretty much owns that county. Okay? So the possibilities are endless. When it comes to respecting the Constitution, you guys can push back in the future once you set this precedence. And right now's the time to do a Second Amendment ordinance because of 1639, and also because of our criminal Attorney General Bob Ferguson, who's already putting forward legislation to take away the semi-automatic rifle completely. Have you guys seen that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Okay.
Just got filed.
Just got filed on Friday, I believe.
Yep.
I think so, yeah. So
It's going to be heard tomorrow.
that's right. That's right. So this is the thing. Put this into your heads. You already have it there, but really remind yourself. They will never stop. They will never stop. We cannot compromise. We cannot sit around. We need to fight this from all fronts, from all angles, and this is one that this is an angle that's never been done yet in Washington State when it comes to, from our perspective, as believing the Constitution. And so I'm asking that you guys, we'll stay here for a little bit so you guys can talk to us and we can kind of help you guys find out who some of the leaders are. But at the end of the day, you guys need to put a team together. Okay, we'll have different groups and stuff, but the pressure's got to come from you guys. and encouraging the board members. I believe the board members they like it. They like the idea, okay? But you have to understand that it's too easy for politicians when they're going to do something that's unique, that's different, that may be risky, right? They may be liable. It's easier for them to just ignore it and just hope it just goes away and disappears. But you guys have to be so committed, that fire in your heart, that you will push and push and push until you get this through. There are good politicians who are weak. They have a good heart, but they're weak. They're not courageous enough to put themselves out there. We have a Sheriff Bob Songer in Klickitat County. He has openly said in the public that if any state official, any federal official comes into his county and tries to take anybody's guns without due process, he will be there with himself and 130 other armed citizens. He said that out in the open.
Woo.
Right? Yes, amen to that.
National radio, he said that.
Yes, he did. He said it, and he's doing interviews. He's being an activist because he believes the sheriff's job is to protect you guys and to protect the Constitution. That's what it's supposed to be, right? He serves you guys. And so that's what we need. We need people like Bob Songer. We need other people who are unafraid to do what needs to be done in order to protect this Constitution. Because listen, too many people have sacrificed too much. Whether it be our forefathers, the men who signed the Declaration of Independence, just simply by putting their name on there, several of them were murdered, taken to prison for several years, went through long winters, almost dying of hunger, of freezing to death. All the sacrifices made by all our veterans along the way. Okay, do we have any veterans here? Oh, yeah. Any veterans? There we go, thank you.
Thank you.
So, imagine this. Imagine people in our country that are willing to leave their families behind, fly all the way across the world, put their lives on the line, and they may never see their family ever again, right? That's the sacrifice that they're willing to make because they believe in the higher cause. They believe in something more important than themselves. What I want to know is, what are we willing to do, those of us who are here now, because the sacrifices that we need to make is nothing compared to what a lot of our veterans and their families have had to do to protect this country. Because trust me, protecting the Second Amendment, that is a fight to protect this country, right? Why is it that they're going after the rifles? Is anybody, can you tell me why they're going after the rifle?
Effective. Big advantages they can when it comes down to when it goes down.
Right.
They want every advantage they can possibly have.
That's right. That's right. The rifle is the safest gun, statistically, that you can own. There'll probably be one murder this year. One in the state of Washington by a semi-automatic rifle. Why would they go after a gun that maybe one person will be murdered?
So they can
Because
bring
you kill
UN
tyrants.
They're
You
going
kill
to bring
tyrants
UN
with
troops
rifles.
in our country.
What's that?
I think they're up to bringing UN troops in our country if we have no guns.
Yes, sir, they are.
They've already been
So
here.
let's talk about that.
They're already here.
Let's talk about that. When we as American people have rifles all over the country, right? Especially on the coast, right? Especially on the West Coast. Okay, a rifle is the thing. We are the largest military in the world, right? Not our official military, just the people in here.
Yeah.
There's no military that can send ground troops and take over our land because all of you guys and your brothers, your sisters, or everybody, your moms, everybody, your children will be out there with rifles taking down these ground troops, trying to take over the most beautiful country in the world. Because they cannot take down this world until they take us down, until they take down this beautiful country. Because we will fight for freedom, not just here, but all over the place. And they understand that America is a symbol. It is a symbol of freedom. It is a symbol of God. And it's really hard to be a tyrant in other parts of the world and to justify your behavior when you have this beautiful country where not only are we free, that freedom has brought so much success, right? That's what builds small business, inventions, the technology. All of that came from freedom. All of it. Freedom has been the biggest attack on the poor since man has been on this world, right? The biggest thing. The people who are poor here are so rich compared to the rest of places around the world. Okay? And so I'm going to finish up with this so you guys can ask any questions that you want. Let me finish up real quick. Oh, hey, I'll ask any question you guys want. Here's the thing, okay? It's easier. I'm talking from experience. There's a lot of you people who are going to be fired up today and you're going to want to, like, yeah, let's do this. But you have to understand is it takes consistency, and you have to keep going forward, and it's an uphill battle, and it hurts and it's painful, because when you begin to fight for freedom, which a lot of people here understand, okay, when you begin to fight for freedom, you begin to realize in Washington State it's a real uphill battle. And it's going to be tempting to just ignore it. It's going to be tempting to just stay in your house and forget about it. I get that temptation all the time because the things that I see are very discouraging all over the country. Okay? There's a spiritual thing that's happening in this country right now, and it's people like you, it's us. We're like the last line of defense. And you guys have to stand up, and you have to fight for what is right, and you can do it at a local level. And if you guys get your county fired up at a local level, these people are going to be hungry for more. Hungry for more. They're going to want more fights. They're going to want to get involved in other ways, whether it be running for office or whatever it may be. It's like it's going to be a spark. It's going to start a flame, and it's got to be one of these counties, like you guys that believe in the Constitution, and understand one of these counties will be the first to pass it, and you guys are going to be all over the news. Not that I know you guys don't care about being on the news, but you guys are going to become a symbol for the rest of the state, whoever that county is. Okay? Going to be a symbol, and it's going to start something, and then it's going to be the next county, then the next county, then the next, and then all the elitists, all the people who've been slowly trying to take away your guns, because they push and push and push and see how much we will comply, and they see this little revolution happening in the state of Washington. They're going to have to take a step back and be like, okay, maybe we push too hard, maybe we need to slow down a little bit. Okay, Bonner County in Idaho. You guys know when the VA, during the Obama administration, you guys know when the VA was going and just taking guns from veterans with no due process? Do you guys remember that? Yep. Okay, the media was really quiet about it. Bonner County, this is what I'm trying to say, is they poke and see how we respond. Bonner County, they're taking guns from all over the country, but Bonner County, they had a sheriff that actually, like Bob Songer, actually believed that his job was to protect the people, right? They had to announce, they had to tell the sheriff, we're coming to this house this time to take the guns or whatever. The sheriff said nope. He showed up to that house with hundreds of citizens, with even Matt Shea from Washington, state representative, okay? Hundreds of people, and they said no. They said no. That took some real courage from that sheriff. And the Fed said, oh shoot, what did we do? We went too far. They left and they never came back, okay? That's what we got to do, but we got to do it in a legal way. We need to support our sheriff and say, hey, we're passing this ordinance, so by you not complying with these unconstitutional laws, we have your back. Sheriff, you're not by yourself. Us, the patriots, are going to back you. We support you, and here, we're going to put it on the books. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm going to answer a couple questions. Aaron, if you want something to say after that. Yeah.
Eric Swalwell. Remember what he said in the interview about a month ago?
What?
Representative out of California, when asked about, he said now that we have the House, we're going to get the guns.
Yeah.
And Swalwell said we don't have to worry about that because we got the nukes.
Right. Yeah. So that's the thing too, is that actually I want to talk about something about that. People always bring that up to me, like, Joey, the rifle is nothing because militaries have nuclear weapons. They have this, they have that. I know. Most of the politicians struggle mentally, but the thing is, though, is see the country. They don't want to just nuke our land or just drop bombs on us. They don't want to ruin all this beautiful stuff that we have. They want to imprison us. They want to destroy the Constitution, and they know that they won't be able to do that unless we are armed. We don't have the rifles. If we didn't have the rifles, we would be living under like a Chinese regime already. Okay? Yeah.
Announce to the people too here that we need to get a committee of safety together to do this. To help them out.
Get a what?
A committee of safety. I'll get somebody here to help us.
Sure.
So get enough people to put it together.
Okay.
The committee of safety is your voice. We had it down in Burns.
Yeah.
And we turned all the people of Burns around to be on our side. The majority of them anyway.
Yeah.
So
That's the reason why we're here. We're not here to do the work. We're here to inspire you guys to do the work, to stand up and to work.
I understand
that we can be
that, but
courageous, that you stand be courageous and lead your communities.
I do believe my community.
Exactly.
I'm presenting the remonstrance to the Congress here about the police.
So here's what I want to do for you guys, okay? And this is an important part of it. And when we're done, some of you guys who really are like, what? This is my calling. This is something I want to be a part of. Okay, come and talk to me. We're gonna get you information. The one thing I need all of you guys to do, if you can, is to pull out your phones. If you have a phone or whatever, if you can go to GibsonForFreedom.com if you want to be part of the mailing list. Okay, so you can stay updated and we can continue to build this team. Because I'll help you guys build the team. But at the end of the day, if you guys aren't motivated enough, I don't know what else to do for you guys. Because everybody here should be able to get a team together, get multiple people, okay? And for example, like Tuesday, we're gonna do something. But if you go to GibsonForFreedom.com, you sign up on that email list, that's the easiest way. If you put your phone number on there, you'll also get text messages. So you'll know anytime we're gonna do something in Kelso, Longview, or Lewis County, or any of these counties. If you guys, because it's not just about your county, if you guys can support us in all the counties going around there, because remember, one county that passes is good for all of us, right? It's good for all of us. If Clickitat County passes this, which I think they will first week in February, okay, you guys should be celebrating. That's a big deal. I will be. I'll be jumping up and down. I'll be so happy, okay? So go to GibsonForFreedom.com, go on there, or you can come up and give us your information after, okay? Is there any other questions? Yeah.
Let everybody know that there's a commissioners meeting Tuesday.
That's right.
That's
So
what I was going to talk about.
okay, so he'll talk about that Tuesday though at 9 a.m. Okay, I won't be able to be here. You'll be here, right?
I'll be here representing.
I'll be in Clickitat County. But at 9 a.m., you guys, all of you guys should be, well, you guys are conservatives, you work, but you should get as many people that you can. That's why, that's one of the advantages the left has over us. It's hard to get conservatives on the streets because they're like trying to pay the bills and stuff.
We're all at
But
work.
yeah,
That's
We're
right.
shopping.
so 9 a.m., come to the board meeting right here, okay? The information will be on my website and stuff where you guys can look it up too. We also have their numbers. You should be calling them. You should be sending emails and be polite because they're on your side, okay? Well, they act like they are, all right? And if you go to the board meeting, do public comments and start to set the tone to be like, hey, this is what we want, and we're gonna keep coming, we're gonna keep going, we're gonna keep doing whatever we gotta do to bring attention to this, okay? It's very important to show up to the board meetings, it's so important. It's not the sexiest thing in the world to do, but it's very important. It lets the board members know that you're here, visible physically, okay? Same thing with the emails, same thing with the phone numbers.
I will be at the board meeting for sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tea Party Ron here.
All right.
Yeah, a bunch of us will be.
I was there last Tuesday, representing Cowles County, and we need a decision from them. That's why we're here. So my follow-up is Tuesday for a decision from the Board of Commissioners. And we all need everyone to talk to them on the phones or show up like you are to tell them you want this ordinance. You want the Second Amendment county ordinance. Just, that's all you got to say on the phone. That's all you got to do is say face-to-face with them. Okay? I left work. You know, I've missed 4 days of work in 20 years. The third time was last Tuesday, and fourth is this Tuesday because of our rights. I talked to the Cowles tribes, and they're on board quite a bit about voting rights because these laws are a domino effect. 18 to 21 is all unconstitutional because at 18 you get selective service, you can go to war.
Vote.
You should be able to vote. And all the 18-year-olds are being discriminated in our county. This ordinance protects that against that discrimination. A new business owner, 18, they're railroading all 18-year-olds. Now on the state rights side is this ordinance. And I'll read a little section of the ordinance so you have an idea of your protection against tyranny up from King County, the donors that donate to Thurston County that dictate to all of you. This ordinance protects you. It makes your vote 10 to 100,000.
Yeah.
So it's important, okay? I'm just going to read something because I'm a James Madison Bill of Rights constitutionalist, okay? There is a right to be free from the commandeering hand of government that has been most notably recognized by the United States Supreme Court in Prince with a Z versus the United States. The court held the federal government may neither issue directives requiring the states to address particular problems, nor command the state's officers or those of their political subdivisions to administer or enforce a federal regulatory program. The anti-commandeering principles recognized by the U.S. Supreme Court in Prince versus United States are predicated upon the advice of James Madison, who in Federalist number 46 advised a refusal to cooperate with officers of the Union in response to either unconstitutional federal measures or constitutional but unpopular federal measures. Like 1639 is unpopular. This rhetoric will protect your Fourth Amendment, your First Amendment. So when they have rhetoric like, oh, I don't know if we have this ordinance because someone will have an ordinance for this or that, you can use that ordinance to protect your Fourth Amendment, your right to privacy on your medical records. That violates the HIPAA Act.
Yeah, we need that.
The Due Process, 14th Amendment. So I laid down to the commissioners the federal statutes by Jody Fetter on all voting rights. She's a lawyer of legislative branch. Then I talked about the U.S. codes, because the natives need to know their federal laws when they come over of state land. Deprivation of rights under the color of law, like Initiative 1639. That rhetoric is what Bob Ferguson and the governor, they're not going to jail right now because they sidestepped office. They're running for president and governor now. That's how they avoided going to jail for these unconstitutional laws. That's what the Clintons did, sidestep office with their big lawyers and big money. But these 18 to 21 laws are a domino effect. Lots of anti-gun laws. And we have to stop that domino effect. This ordinance will do that. So put the pressure on the commissioners.
Were the commissioners receptive to this idea?
Yes, they did.
We have three commissioners. We have Joe Gardner, Weber, and Arn Mortensen.
Yes, Mortensen, he just didn't like the word sanctuary, so we call it Second Amendment County Ordinance. And then he was concerned about the different kinds of, like Third Amendment, ordinance, and yada yada. So I am going to re-clarify that this ordinance protects the whole Bill of Rights.
There you go.
And as far as liabilities are concerned, if you have no rifles, are you going to care about liabilities?
No.
I don't think so.
What did Weber think?
Yeah, what did Weber think?
He is, what I'm told by a lot of these gun owner businesses, is he's starting to come around on the ordinance because it's all constitutional and it's lawyer approved.
Interesting.
What the natives also like about this ordinance is they're adding federal licensing in 1639 that shuts down a lot of the small business, firearm businesses that are native. They don't like that law either.
You know, we have Calburn here. I'd like him to say a few words. We're going to pass a resolution at the Republican Party Tuesday night on the Second Amendment. Calburn, could you tell the folks about that? I wish we would have brought the resolution with us.
Yeah, I can go, if you guys want to hear, I can go grab my phone and I'll read it out to you. But I was recently elected chair for the Cowlitz County Republican Central Committee last December 8th. And one of the, I don't know if you guys know who I am, but I invited Joey to come speak at a Bill of Rights bash last July 7th. I organized the Second Amendment rally at the Civic Circle last March 27th. And some of the Republicans, the guys that are constitutionalists, took note of that. And they asked me to run, and I ran, and I won. Okay? Tuesday night, we're going to be voting on a resolution that the party will declare that Cowlitz County is a Second Amendment sanctuary county. So it is absolutely serendipitous that Joey, this is completely independent of each other. He came here on his own volition, and the people that approached me with the resolution came on their own volition. Looks like we have a copy of it right here. Would you guys like to hear it?
Tea Party Ron came through.
All right. Cowlitz County Republican Central Committee. Resolution in support of Second Amendment sanctuary cities and counties. Whereas the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution guarantees the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And Article 6, Section 2, this Constitution and the laws made in pursuance thereof shall be the supreme law of the land. And whereas Article 1, Section 2 of the Washington State Constitution declares the Constitution of the United States is the supreme law of the land. And whereas Article 1, Section 24 of the Washington State Constitution further guarantees the right of the individual citizen to bear arms in defense of himself or the state shall not be impaired. And whereas the United States Supreme Court has declared a law repugnant to the Constitution is void, see Marbury v. Madison, and an unconstitutional act is not law. It confers no rights. It imposes no duties. It is in legal contemplation as inoperative as though it had never been passed. See Norton v. Shelby County. Whereas the people in Cowlitz County regard as inalienable their natural right of self-defense, constitutionally guaranteed by the right to keep and bear arms, and further in its exercise derive economic benefit and enjoyment in all safe forms of recreation, hunting, and shooting. And whereas the myriad of measures imposed by the government that criminalize lawful gun ownership do, in their substance and effect, infringe upon and impair the constitutionally guaranteed right to keep and bear arms as exercised by the law-abiding citizens, inhibit lawful self-defense, do nothing to increase our security in our schools and homes, nor address gang violence. And whereas the commissioners of Cowlitz County and the city council members of Longview, Kelso, Woodland, Kalama, and Castle Rock are elected to represent the citizens within their respective jurisdictions and are duly sworn by their oaths of office to support and defend the federal and state constitutions. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Cowlitz County Republican Central Committee calls upon the said county commissioners and city council members to declare their respective jurisdictions to be Second Amendment sanctuaries in the protection of law-abiding citizens exercising of their constitutionally guaranteed right to keep and bear arms, and further to direct that no sheriff, police chief, agent, employee, or official of their respective jurisdictions provide material support or to participate in any way in the enforcement of any act, order, rule, law, or regulation repugnant to the constitutionally guaranteed right to keep and bear arms exercised by law-abiding citizens of Cowlitz County. And it continues. Be it further resolved, the Cowlitz County Republican Central Committee calls upon the Republican Party Central Committees of all counties in Washington to join us in this action by calling upon their elected officials to act in protecting their law-abiding citizens in the exercise of their constitutionally guaranteed right to keep and bear arms by passing a similar resolution. Be it further resolved, the Cowlitz County Republican Party Central Committee directs its chair to provide this resolution to the elected officials within Cowlitz County and those representing Cowlitz County at the state and national levels, and to the chairs of all the Republican Party Central Committees within our state, and to the Washington State Republican Party. So that is what we're looking to pass. Woo! I'm just going to say one more thing. That's what we're looking to pass Tuesday night within the Republican Central Committee. There is a spot for the public to come in and view the meeting. If you guys are all welcome to come up, it's going to be in this building, 3rd floor, general meeting room, 7 p.m. We just ask that you guys stay quiet and let the party business continue, and you guys can witness history in the making. Thank you.
You got a question?
Yes, sir.
There's also mentioned of a 9 o'clock. Is that the one at the committee?
The 9 a.m. meeting is for the Commissioners Board meeting, and it's also in this building right across the hall from where we will be meeting at 7 p.m. All right?
7 p.m. is the Republicans.
Yeah, 7 p.m. is the Republican Central Committee.
Hang tight, everybody.
So, any other questions for what they're doing?
One,
Because
I got a quick question.
So we're
Right.
attending the normal meeting
9 a.m.
plus the 7 o'clock meeting.
If they want to see what they're doing. These guys they're trying to get it passed for within the Republican Party.
Will
which
this
is awesome.
ordinance go with this,
I
that
get it.
ordinance too? They're both sanctuary county ordinances.
Yeah, this is a resolution to instruct the local officials that we need to have an ordinance.
Okay.
And so,
Okay, so if I come and talk about this, I'm following up a decision on this.
absolutely.
You know, on this Tuesday. That's why we're here to decide this stuff. You know,
Yeah.
like we demand a decision, yay or nay.
Yeah.
Because they're,
It's about,
you know, are they going to be reelected or not?
Yeah.
They better pass it, right?
it's all about putting pressure on these guys to make the correct decision.
Absolutely.
If we all just go to work and put our heads down and just ignore this stuff, we're just going to get more of the same. Just like Joey's saying, okay?
Yeah.
We got to stand up and tell these guys, hey, we got to respect the Constitution here. This is the law of the land, the supreme law of the land. It doesn't matter what Washington, D.C. says in opposition to it. It's repugnant, okay? Doesn't matter what Seattle says or what Olympia says. If it's against the Constitution, it's null and void. And this is what Joey's trying to tell us. So I'll let him continue. Thanks, Joey.
Thank you. This is a good example, okay, of people stepping up, because there's a lot of Republicans who are afraid to openly support this. Okay, so to see that's really refreshing, and I appreciate that, and you guys should be thankful for that too, because that takes courage. Okay, and the thing that I want to finish off with is that, and you can say something after if you want, but the thing I want to finish up with is that I talk about this all the time. It's happening right now, and I want to remind you guys, okay, there's the Christian persecution in China right now is really bad. I don't know if you guys know about that. Okay, they're tearing down the crosses, they're tearing down the churches. They're all the pastors who are having a real influence in the country are being taken away. Okay, and we have people in China that are. This really impacts me for two reasons. We have people in China, Christians, who are climbing up churches 5 stories up, tying themselves to crosses, willing to go down with that cross when the government shows up. That courage and that conviction really inspires me. And I use that to motivate myself in everything that I do. And I want to ask this question, is where is that courage that they have in China? Where is that in our own country? Okay? Everybody says that they're willing to die for the country. Well, everyone that's, a patriot is willing to die for what is right. But what are you willing to do before that? Everything else. Make the phone calls. Go to the board meetings. Put effort into these ordinances. That's the main thing. Because what I don't want, okay, I don't want this country to turn into a country where my children have to tie themselves on crosses. I want to avoid that. And one of the ways, there's no way China would be able to get away with this stuff if the citizens were armed. So this isn't just about guns, ladies and gentlemen. This is a spiritual thing that we're going through right now. And if you want to see where this country will be, you want to see exactly what's going to happen, you look at what they're doing in China. The tyrants, the fascist communist government, it's exactly what you will see here. So you got to think about your children, your grandchildren, and what you want to fight for and what we're going to leave for them generation after generation. It's what we leave behind us. Okay, that's what's really important. It's not about ourselves. It's not about what we want. It's not about our jobs and our money. We got to look beyond that. We got to be selfless, and we got to walk the way that Jesus did, because he gave everything up for all of you guys. Each and every single one of you. Okay?
Joey.
Yes.
How do you respond to somebody that refers to all of us that have conservative views as Nazis?
Okay, I'm an expert on this, okay? So, that's why I don't say the word conservative a lot, to be honest. There's a lot of differences between me and a conservative, because I'm freedom first. So it's not left versus right, I just want freedom. So when people say stuff like that, there's a lot of things, they go into, but the main thing is that I believe in freedom, and Hitler despised freedom. And this is the thing, I'm an advocate for free speech and for gun rights, right? Those are the two main things that I fight for. What was Hitler's opinion on free speech?
He didn't like it.
He hated it. He controlled it, right? Exactly. He controlled the narrative. I believe open, free society where we can exchange ideas. What was Hitler's opinion on gun rights?
No guns.
You don't want to have, yeah, so sometimes you throw a little bit of logic at them, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of people, don't waste your time with them, move on.
Hitler came to power through free speech, and he came to power through gun rights. So when he got into power to keep somebody from challenging his power, he outlawed those two things, which is what the left is trying to do to us today.
Exactly.
And that's what we're fighting against. Because after the Second Amendment falls, they're coming after the Fourth Amendment. They're coming after the 14th. Everything we have, due process to defend ourselves. It'll be like China. They can do whatever they want to us with no recourse to the courts. People will feel powerless. You have people in France now fighting for their freedom with sticks and stones. How the revolution would be done now if they were still armed.
There's one thing on Christian 18-year-old businesses in Cowlitz County. These 18 to 21 laws are coming out like a domino effect, are shoving all the Christian 18-year-old businesses out by skipping over them with these unconstitutional laws. So if you're an 18-year-old that wants a Christian business, you don't get one or a vote, because they just skipped over it with an age abridgment. 1971 voting rights, that's what I'm talking about. And individual rights, you should be able to vote if you're 18 to have a business or be inherited a business. So It already started pushing 18-year-olds out. You could be a tobacco shop owner, and I'm not for tobacco, or vaping. All that is on their agenda is to skip over 18-year-old voters. We go in the military at 18. You should be able to own a business and vote. So that's my big argument.
I have to apologize. I didn't directly answer your question. When they call us a Nazi, what they're doing is they're trying to end the conversation.
Yeah, that's all it is. That's all it is.
Because they can't rebut your facts.
They're communists. Just like they call you racist.
Can I comment on the word Nazi?
Please come to the steps, ladies and gentlemen, for the traffic.
Okay. I can't speak too loud, but let me explain to you what Nazi is and where it comes from. Nazi is an abbreviation that Americans came up with because we couldn't pronounce National Socialist in German. So when somebody calls you a Nazi, it's very simple. It's like, I'm not a socialist.
There you go.
The National Socialist Party was put into power by the Democratic Authority Party, which was also the Democratic Party that is in control of the United States now. The same party. If you're not a socialist, then you're not a Nazi. We want freedom. We want to be able to redress our grievances, protest in peace. We want our rights guaranteed by our Constitution for our Second Amendment, our gun rights. That's not a Nazi. Nazi is opposed to that. Socialism is opposed to freedom. Socialism is slavery.
Yeah.
We're not slaves. We're not going to be slaves.
You know they call themselves anti-fa? It's because they don't know how to spell fascist, that's why.
They oppress every opinion that differs from their own. That's fascist.
Well, here's something else though. If you look back in history at the rise of fascism, the enemies of fascism in Europe were predominantly anarchists and communists. And so now today when we have the argument that anybody conservative is a fascist or a Nazi, it's being put out there so that they can keep us divided. They don't want, the people putting this stuff out don't want the left and the right talking.
That's right.
They don't want us working together because that will take them out of power.
That's right. Yeah. Did you have something?
No, that's right.
Okay. Is anybody here hear about Billy Wilson in Vancouver, Washington? Anybody? Okay. It's Lars is picking up on that. He's calling in. Basically, long story short, this guy went to one of my rallies, first rally ever. He left the rally, and these fascists took over the streets, started assaulting a bunch of our people, started attacking his truck. It's a big blue truck. Took bats to it, threw rocks at it, was destroying it. He sped off, okay? Didn't put anyone's life in danger at all, got out of there. We have a prosecuting attorney 6 months later that decided to go after him and charge him with 2 counts of reckless driving and reckless endangerment. And he's a Portland State University graduate, and what I think he's trying to do is he's trying to scare conservatives into having a voice in his city where he has his jurisdiction. He's saying that if you come out like this, Kelso's different, right? The close yard of Portland's different. He's saying if you come out like this, it's okay for far left protesters to come attack you. You will not be protected. And if you try to flee the scene or maybe even defend yourself, I will come after you, is what he's saying. He's trying to shut up people like you guys, okay? This case is going to be, it's all on video. The evidence is out there. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to put so much pressure on this prosecuting attorney that he will drop the case. We're trying to free this man, okay? So if you guys can go to gibsonforfreedom.com eventually and take a look at who the prosecuting attorney is, what his phone number is, his email. Take a look at the video that I made. You guys are going to be really angry if you see the video, okay? We want to keep Portland in Portland. We don't want it to leak over into Washington, Vancouver, and start coming up I-5, okay? And what's that?
It's already happening.
I know it is, but let's push back, okay? Yeah. But hey, March 2nd in Vancouver, we're having a huge rally to free Billy Wilson, and I would really like to see each and every single one of you that can come. It's at Saturday, it's 1 p.m. at the Clark County Courthouse on the steps, okay? Any other questions, comments?
Yeah, I was actually at his last court hearing. The prosecuting attorney said that because nobody was injured when Billy sped off, that he cannot use self-defense and fear for his life as a defense.
So if you run in fear of your life, you're guilty?
Yes. He's a communist, so he just wants to get a conviction.
It's politically motivated.
Yes, it's all politically motivated.
Okay, so I'm going to get my notes out, my paper, my pen. If you guys haven't already done it, go to GibsonForFreedom.com and really get on the email list, because I got it. Social media is really censoring me. You can go to Patriot Prayer on Facebook if you want, but the best thing is get your phone number and email listed so you'll get text messages and emails. That's the best way. So yeah, feel free to come up. If you guys have any questions, come and talk to me. If you feel like there's something you can provide in terms of sometimes people are good with publicity, good with fundraising, good with whatever, come and talk to me. We'll write down some stuff and I'll give you my phone number. We can kind of talk over the next 2 weeks. Okay? Guys, thank you so much for coming out here. It means a lot to us.
Yeah, hang tight, everybody. I didn't come all the way over here just keep my mouth shut. Okay, I'm Randy Mace. I'm over in Spokane area.
Oh.
I'm the commander for the 63rd Militia over in Spokane County. How many out here are militia members?
Every one of you.
Everybody.
I'm part of the citizen militia.
That's
Legal
a trick
abiding
question.
militia. I'm a militia. I mean, everybody is.
Everybody out here, all the way across, you're all militia by definition, by Constitution.
Yes.
The Second Amendment dictates that you are militia. That is what we're here for. The last line of defense is the people of America.
Well organized.
And that's why our founding fathers put the Second Amendment in there. The Second Amendment is about militia, not self-defense or hunting. Secondary is self-defense and hunting, which I enjoy. But we're all militia. It's just a matter of whether you belong to an organized group that is training on a regular basis or not. It doesn't matter whether you're called 3%, because they're a damn good group. It doesn't matter whether you're oath keepers. I saw a lot of hands come up. Military members. We took an oath. We swore an oath. I did mine way back. But I did 22 years in the military. That oath is for life, as far as I'm concerned. The same oath is taken by all of our official politicians, our police, our county commissioners. The same oath is taken to defend that Constitution. That is the #1 item that they take that oath for, is the Constitution of the United States. Secondary is the state constitution. When it comes to the sheriff, third is the state laws, but only if they're constitutional. And that's what we got to make clear to our law enforcement. Their oath doesn't say that they can violate the Constitution to sit there and uphold an unconstitutional state law. And that's what we're here to take care of today, is to get rid of those state laws. The only way we can do this is to organize all across the state. Every militia group, every political group that has a lot of members and stuff. To get communication from one to the other, we all have to start joining each other's groups. Now the commanders and stuff of all the different groups and stuff, we can have a list there for active members. Over on the other side, people from around the state joining your group, put them over here in an honorary member. That way, whenever you do specific training in your area, you got your active group. When you need to get a message across out to everybody across the state, instantaneously pull up the other group, the honorary members. The word gets across to every other group all the way across the state. Now, a new group that just stood up, she's already got 2,500 members in, what, 2 months. Silent No More, repeal 1639. Everybody needs to get on that one.
Man, that one.
You know, and she's a firecracker. Well, I call her a warrior lady now. So, but she's up there spending a month. She's got 5 kids and a husband at home, and she's spending a month up here fighting for us. And she's got her stuff together. She's got some law school under her belt. But she's a spearhead. There's spearheads in every community. Going over here, going over here. These are your leaders. Stay in contact with them and get organized. We all got brothers, sisters, moms, dads, cousins, and everything. They should have been down here. He's taking time off from work. I'm from Spokane and I came all the way over here. Of course, this is my old stomping grounds too. I love this place. So I was born and raised in Cathalamin. So. But this is what we must do. All eyes across the nation, good and bad, are watching to see what the citizens of Washington are going to do. Do we have the guts and the bravery to stand up and confirm to them that we will not comply to this tyrant tyranny? We're not going to stand for it anymore. What happens here in Washington, if we fail, it's going to be a tidal wave across the entire United States. We have to make the stand, we have to make it happen, and we have to do it at the county commissioners, start there, and build up each of the counties. If you look at the map, 90%, well, probably 95% of the counties in Washington are Republican. We cannot let 2 or 3 counties up north here completely rule the entire state. Now, one of the other things we have to do is get educated. We have to know what different laws are. I just gave him some Supreme Court rulings here that are the backbone of a bunch of history for the Second Amendment, standing up for us. Over this past year, the Ninth Circuit Court, because Trump has put some different judges up in there, we have managed to get things overturned that shocked the heck out of me. The magazine ban has been overturned by the Ninth Circuit Court. Unconstitutional. Open carry here in Washington State is going to end with 1639. Why? Because 1639 says we can't pack around with a loaded gun. We can't put a bullet in our magazine and pack around. So what's the use in having open carry packing a gun if we can't use it for self-defense? That violates our open carry self-defense clauses. The other thing Ninth Circuit did, they declared that open carry loaded is a constitutional right. Another shocker out of San Francisco. So, you know, I'm still heart fluttering over that one. I go, what? So, but get to your families. Don't be afraid to get in conversation. We have to engage in conversations out on the street and get people involved. Longview's got a much bigger population than this group right here. We've got to start stepping up and even take time off from work to get to some of these rallies and take care of this business, because if we fail on this one, it's going to steamroll all across the United States. We've got to stand up. Get a little oxygen going here.
Quick question, just one foot in front of the other, so to speak. What would the one best thing we could do from here? The next step, like what is the best thing we could do? Like one thing at a time. What's the next thing we should do next?
Contact your board members and show up to the board meeting. Work with the Republican Party since they're actually stepping up. Get involved with the Republican Party. Some Republican parties in other counties are worthless, okay? But they're doing something, so get involved with them and go from there.
I'm going to be there Tuesday at 9 a.m. to talk to the board of members.
And everybody here needs to be there.
For a decision. I'm following up from last Tuesday. I presented everything last Tuesday. Now they need to do the ordinance. I need an answer from each board member. And you guys are that decision, so call them up and demand the Second Amendment county ordinance.
Make sure
the resolution they talked about.
This is really important, guys. Make sure I get your contact information right away, because that's how I'm going to be able to connect all of you, right? One guy's good, like he's talking about, he can make t-shirts. Another guy's like, hey, I have a store, we can sell these t-shirts to promote the Second Amendment. I'll be able to connect you guys together. We'll get a machine running that doesn't need me to make it to continue to go. You guys will be the ones that gets it going, okay? And so it comes from within.
Now, give an example here real quick. Well, I just came down from Olympia from Friday. I was really upset about the small turnout that was up there. I heard one lady sit there and say, wow, this is really great, but it's the first time she's ever been to one. But I looked at her and said, no, this isn't great. This is only a small handful. The last time I was up there, we had 2,000. and that was not great. You know, we need, in April, the March for Your Rights is going to have an event, and that's going to be 27th, I think it is. But get on the site, look under March for Your Rights. That is going to be one pivotal point there. We have to have thousands of people up there. I've been putting it on my little emails and stuff. We need a 1 million man march up there, 1 million person march. We need especially our women to be up there. Women got to be able to sit self-defense also.
Along those lines, I was thinking when you're saying that, I mean, if you're going to show up here, bring somebody with you.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, I didn't find out about this until just a half hour or so ago, but I showed up just because I want to see how big turnout we got here. This ain't nearly big enough.
Yeah.
See, everyone out here's got to have a friend.
We should
bring them
build
with
that
you.
whole block up today.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. This is ridiculous. We're going to stand on our own 2 feet here. We got to get our buddies together and just make a point. Say, hey, this is what we want.
This is why this is very important, because now that you guys are here, we have your contact information. Next time we have an event like this, you guys should be able to find 10 people to come with you.
Absolutely.
Okay? And then we start to build it.
You can't bring 9, 8, 7, bring something.
That's it. Tell them you're going to take them to dinner and throw them all in the car and bring them down here. Tell them dinner's afterwards, you know. But
get them here. We need people.
Remember, the commissioner's election's on you guys.
Okay, over here.
They have to be reelected, so put pressure on them.
Freedom. Are they going to have a calendar out there so we can see these events and plan them?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So the issue is you're not going to get a whole bunch of warning. You may get a week, maybe 2 weeks warning. Okay. So that's kind of the struggle, because right now we're going to the counties where they're asking us to come to.
Okay.
Okay. And it also depends on what happens at the board meeting. Right. Sometimes we have to do an emergency thing. Like sometimes if a politician's trying to pull a fast one on us, then we got to be somewhere in 24 hours. Okay. And that's why it's important to be on the email list. Okay, not just going to GibsonForFreedom.com, but signing up on the email list so I can send it on email, and everybody will get it.
So you can sign up on there or the website?
Yeah, preferably the website, because then it's automated, and I don't have to sit there for 5 hours trying to read your guys' horrible handwriting.
One last thing. For the leaders that are up here, you especially, Brad's a damn good contact. He's a historian. He's got every session law, Washington territory, and everything they ever had. And grab one of his military code manuals and stuff. That explains a whole lot. Sheriff's responsibilities, everything in it. So. Okay, anybody else got any questions for any of us?
Okay, feel free to make sure you get on there. I'll stick around. Feel free to come and talk to me. Okay, guys, thank you so much for coming out. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.